Welcome to Monday Night. Initiate the Monday Night Rants Sports Show. The show about sports news, insider fantasy info, entertainment, comedy and more. Number 682nd watch show on Monday night. Start the show in 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Welcome to Monday Night Rants. Did everyone enjoy the home run derby? I did. At first, I was a little bored by it, to be honest. At first, I was watching it, trying to get ready for the show, and I was like, "Ah, cool." These guys are hitting home runs, going back and forth, and everyone's walking off, which is cool. There was no blowouts or anything. And then Bryce Harper just stole the show at the end. And kudos to him, winning at home in front of his crowd there in Washington. And it was quite epic because at that point I was actually eating dinner with my wife, and we were watching the finals between him and Schwarber. And he had a minute something left, and I'm going, that's done. It's done. There's no way. Then all of a sudden, boom, 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 9 in a row the guy hit to tie, and then 30 seconds left, and sure enough, the big epic finale where he bombs one straight down center, by the way, and then does the two-handed bat flip, which is going to be now the new thing, I guarantee it, in Major League Baseball. But congratulations to Bryce Harper, and his dad was pitching to him. What a great story. Father and son getting to share that moment. He immediately gave the trophy to his dad, which I thought was really cool. And, of course, Scherzer was there and to hoist him up in the air as the champion that he is. And good job. Kudos to Bryce Harper, this year's home run derby champion in a home run derby full of players who don't really hit home runs. Line drive hitters. But you know what? Even Bregman, who I was I'm surprised because I didn't expect him to hit more than 4, really. He's not that great of a home run hitter. He's a line drive. He's a extra base specialist. And he even bombed some. So kudos to everyone. It ended up being exciting. I like the new time format because after what Josh Hamilton did in Yankee Stadium when he hit the 28, the home run derby stunk. It was terrible. It was boring. I ended up just using it as an excuse to drink some beers. Really. And now this new format's amazing. Back to back, the brackets and everything. Everyone realizes now that brackets are what wins fans because everyone likes filling out a bracket. And boom, great home run derby. And again, kudos to Bryce Harper. Looking forward to the All-Star game tomorrow night. I know there's nothing to play for anymore. They used to play for the the home field advantage in the World Series, which I think is a terrible idea because the AL usually wins every year because we've even talked about in the show, the AL just has better teams than the NL. And it just wasn't fair. So kudos to them for switching it. It's going to be a little fun tomorrow. I'm sure Bryce Harper will have some more up his sleeve, and should be fun to watch. So, also, the World Cup has ended, and the very beginning of the show When the World Cup started, I said I like France. I did. You can go back and listen like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I changed my mind halfway through the World Cup and went Brazil. But I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much, but I was on France in the beginning and say they have a deep team, and they do. They have a really deep young team, and they pulled it off in what I thought was a great finale. A lot of people called it a blowout, but really, I thought Croatia could have at least scored 2 more during that time. When they put that, when it was 4-2, I really thought they were going to make it 4-3. They were really playing hard, pushing down the field. Just they couldn't keep up with the young speed of that counter, and it just killed them. And France, kudos to them. What a great moment. Lifting the trophy in the rain, I thought that was really cool. Just made the whole, this was the best World Cup I've seen in my life. I know, I'm 32, so I've seen, quite a few. And USA wasn't even in it. And yet, this was the best World Cup I've ever seen. And I was more intrigued by it, not having a horse in the race, because it made me really watch every game and just enjoy it. And all the goals and the drama and, all the late goals and stoppage time. And that's why I believe that final, even though it was 4-2, the last 20 minutes, I think everyone thought, oh, they're going to come back and tie it, because that's how the whole World Cup has been. So it just made that much more drama. It was awesome. And kudos to Russia and the World Cup. It was great. And I guess the Women's World Cup is next year. Go USA in that one. The defending champion. We'll see how they do. I'll probably watch it. And now it sucks because this week I have nothing to watch. Baseball's on break. I'm not interested in Summer League. Ooh, what's Summer League? I don't watch a bunch of people that are going to go to the D League. No. I don't want to watch rookies playing rookies. I just saw that in the NCAA tournament. I don't want to see it again. It's stupid. It's on ESPN. It's dumb. D League. Summer League, sorry. Same thing. I want to watch that. So really, nothing really going on this week except for the All-Star game and everything. But then I'm like, man, today I'm like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? I have nothing to talk about besides this. And Le'Veon Bell really called me. I answered, and he said, here, hold my beer. Le'Veon Bell, of course, had a deadline today to get a deal done or take the franchise tag. He got franchise tag, which, by the way, he promised last year if he got franchise tag, he'd retire, and I don't see him retiring. I don't see him. He's not true to his word. Oh, wait, we already know he's a liar. So I guess no one's surprised that he's not retiring. I got a lot to say about Le'Veon Bell. This guy on the field is absolute gold. The best player, probably running back in the league. And he's really only playing at 70% because he can be better. He can. I don't think he gives a full effort. You know why? Because this is a guy who last year in the playoffs, in the playoffs, was late to the game. And the day before on the walkthrough against the Jaguars, he showed up late too. And 5 minutes before practice ended, he finally showed up. This guy's heart and mind is not in it. That is not a player who wants to do everything he can to win. That is a loser who only cares about himself. Le'Veon Bell is a selfish child. He's a child. He has a history of being a cancer away from the field. His history is terrible. Besides being hurt a lot, he can't even make games because he's suspended all the time. And not for doing steroids, not for beating wives, not for beating dogs. The dude can't lay off a bong. He was suspended with LeGarrette Blount, got a DUI, marijuana possession, and was suspended for the first couple of games of that season. And the next season, they said, okay, well, you got to do these mandatory drug tests if you want to play. And he missed not 1, not 2, 3. And his reason? His alarm didn't go off. I'm sorry, did mommy not wake you up in time, you child? You're a cancer, and you expect to get this much money? He turned down a deal today, a monstrous $70 million deal from the Steelers, okay, for 4 years. It's $14 million per season. Yes, I know because of the franchise tag, he gets a little bit more than that this year for playing because of the franchise tag rule, which is its own rant in its own, which is already more than the highest paid running back in the league, which is Freeman, who gets about $8 million a year, and that was like, whoa. He wants reportedly $17 million a year, double the amount of Devontae Freeman gets right now. Double the amount. A guy who can't stay on the field because he's either hurt or smoking weed with friends or rapping, because he apparently cares about his rap career more than he cares about his football career. And in his raps, he even disses the Steelers. And the fact that he's getting franchise tag, even though he's making more money right now being franchise tag than anyone, he's a selfish child. Selfish. Today, after the deal did not get done because he turned it down, he went ahead and blamed it on not just him, but also the Steelers. Again, blaming something on someone else because you are a child. Here's what he said today. He said, "To all my Steeler fans, my desire always has been to retire a Steeler, ... Both sides worked extremely hard today to make that happen, but the NFL is a hard business at times. To the fans that had hope, I am sorry we let you down. But trust me, 2018 will be my best season to date. I call bullshit." You turn that deal down. You know you're going to be a free agent at the end of the year. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to tear your ACL so you don't get the money. You're going to play a half-fast year. Everyone in fantasy know that. He is going to play a half-fast year waiting for the money to be paid because he feels he's already proved himself and he feels that he's the greatest thing walking the planet since God, because he's a selfish child. You know what? If the Dodgers do win the division, I got my outfit. I'm just going to dress up as Le'Veon Bell. Boom. Ass clown outfit. Yeah. So this guy expects all this money, but he can't even deliver off the field. He's not even a role. He's not even a role model to children. That's a terrible role model. Terrible. What he's doing. It's terrible. Colin Kaepernick can't even get on a team because he kneeled for the national anthem. And this guy is out smoking weed, missing mandatory drug tests because his alarm, acting like a fool, talking crap. He's childish and immature on Twitter. He's late to playoff games. He's late to practice for playoff games. And he gets paid the most money more than any running back ever. For what reason? Le'Veon Bell. For what reason do they owe you that money? Especially in a day and age where everything is being under a microscope in the NFL. You're getting judged by everything you do outside. Like I said, kneeling for the national anthem. You're getting judged, of course, by what you do off the field. With all this thing with LaShawn McCoy. With all the things with Ray Rice and everything going on. You're being under a microscope for what you do off the field. This guy has not proven he could be a person off the field, but he thinks he deserves to get paid the most money of any running back ever? Le'Veon Bell, you must check yourself. Because you're going to break yourself, son. That's right. You're a child. You need to grow up real quick. Then I'll think you deserve that money. Then people like me will think that you deserve the money that you think you deserve. Because nowadays in the NFL, it's what you do off the field and on the field. And if you were to put that extra 20% into your play, you'd be even better. But you don't, because you don't care. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh fans, but he does not want to be in Pittsburgh anymore. He's done. He's mentally checked out of the Steelers. That's why, again, another lie. 2018 will be my best season to date. It's a lie because children lie and he's a liar. He lied. He's going to do a half-fast season because he knows his future's ahead of him. He's 26 years old, so only has those 4 years left until he hits that running back 30, when we all know what happens when running backs hit 30, right? Yeah. Done. Unless your name is Frank Gore, and I don't know what Frank Gore eats for breakfast every morning. But whatever he does, he should probably let everyone else know. Because, for some reason, his breakfast is keeping him going in the NFL. But every other running back, 30 years old, goodbye. So he had a chance to stay with the Steelers for those 4 years I just mentioned for $70 million and retire a Steeler. But, no, the NFL is a hard business. No, it's not, dude. It's not a hard business. You get paid to play football. That's not a hard business. Why don't you try something else like stocks? Or going to an office 9 to 5, working just to get a raise, just so you could feed your children. That's a hard business. Getting paid to play football is not a hard business. You're a child. You don't even know what business is. You just think that you deserve the money and you want it. I want. Just like a child at a grocery store. I want. You're a terrible teammate. And like I said, Le'Veon Bell, you better check yourself because you're going to break yourself, son. That's right. Oh, man. So before I go on for another hour on Le'Veon Bell being a child, you know what? I actually practiced that monologue before I did this show because I didn't want to be too harsh on him, and I actually got harsher because my emotion came out. I really feel that people need to look at what he does off the field. Really, look. Does he deserve that money? Especially, like I said, nowadays, I'm going back into it again, where it's on and off the field. Everything's looked at. So I think the NFL and everything needs to look really closely at the whole situation and be like, whoa, something's going on here. Man, the NFL's a hard business. Get paid to play football, dude. All right, so moving on. Man. So like I said, the All-Star game is tomorrow night, which means the trade deadline is coming up in the MLB. My favorite time of the year as a Padres fan, because by now, as always, the Padres are out and the drama's in the trades. Who are the Padres going to trade? Who are they going to get that could possibly be a player in 2 years who will just trade again? That's my trade deadline as a Padres fan. But this year, I think it's going to be a really big trade deadline year. And the reason why I don't play NL or AL only fantasy leagues. Because if you got Machado, you'd probably be fine with Machado. But let's say you had someone like Moustakas or Real Muto or Cole Hamels, for say, you may be losing them. And there's like, what do you get? Your top waiver priority of what's left? It's like having this dog. It's like been your best friend for like 10 years, and he's like knows all your commands, and he listens. He's trained perfect. And then one day he just disappears and says, "Don't worry, you can choose from this litter." That's terrible. That's why I don't play AL, and only, and a lot of people do. Not me. I like the mixed. You got to have the more players involved. And this is the exact reason, because this year is going to be a crazy trade deadline. I feel it. I say that every year though. But this year is going to be the crazy trade deadline. I think we've been waiting for it for years. I think Machado's going to go. I think DeGrom's going to go. I think Moustakas is going to go. I think Real Muto's going to go. I think Scooter Gennett goes. Cole Hamels goes. And Carlos Gonzalez goes. Those are big names right there moving around. And there's more probably. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Anthony and Josh. We're going to talk about trade rumors. I'm going to go over each of these players, where I think they're going to go, where I think they're going to go, why I think they're going to go there, and then we're going to talk about fantasy impact of them going to places. Like I said, we're putting AL and NL only leagues aside because, they all hate the trade deadline. And, talk about what's in store for the rest of the year with these players as they get traded and whatnot. And then we're going to go into Fantasy Sports Jeopardy, the All-Star Edition. These questions are hard, too, so they're going to have a hard time. It's going to be fun. So let's get going. Let's go and bring in Mr. A to Z himself and staying on top of the hill, Anthony and Josh. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Man.
Oh.
I'm doing really good, too. Whoa, same time now.
Same time.
Hey, well, I was waiting for my intro music. I felt like I've been spoiled the last few weeks with my music.
Oh, do you want some intro music? I could play you some intro music.
Wow.
Anthony's here, everybody.
I put that on the T.
And I really thought Mr. A to Z was Mr. Jason Mraz, but I guess it is Zaragoza.
Oh, yeah. He's the Jason Mraz, the American version. Welcome to the show, guys. Feels good to get off of that Le'Veon Bell rant. What do you guys think of, real quick, with Le'Veon Bell before we get into the MLB trade rumors? Do you guys agree with me, disagree, and in that free agency, because he's obviously leaving the Steelers, where does he go?
You know what? I guess I don't know if I have as much hate and despise in Bell like you, Edward, but I just think the value on running backs the last couple of years has just gone downhill big time. I think the biggest contract right now is Devontae Freeman at $8 million a year, and he signed that 2 years ago. So the value on these running backs are low. Their shelf life is low. So I think Bell's trying to break that recent streak of low contracts. But I don't know who's going to budge. The Steelers are pretty firm about their way they handle contracts. They don't really re-sign guys until their contract's done. But he's probably going to go elsewhere. I don't know specifically what team, but I have a feeling it's going to be something like Ndamukong Suh a couple years ago when he went to the Dolphins. Ugh. He's probably going to go to a team who isn't a contender but just has a cap space because, if he's going to get 15, 16, 17 million a year, that's top pass rusher money. That's
crazy.
Quality starter money for a quarterback. So, if a team's going to invest that much money in Bell, he's going to take a large chunk of that salary cap. We're talking 10 to 15%.
He doesn't care about championships. He cares about money. He's a child. Gimme, 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 gimme. He's a child. So you're right. Maybe he does go to the Dolphins. That'd be a good spot for him, huh? Go waste away in Miami.
Hey, you know what? Maybe that's probably a good spot for him right
It is, actually. If you think about it, it could be a perfect fit. He's in Miami, a high-profile city where he can go clubbing, work on his rap music with all the other Miami hip-hop rap stars, get paid money to play football half-fast. It's perfect.
Tax-free state as well.
Yeah. Whoa. I think we just decided Le'Veon Bell's destination for him. He's going to Miami.
You're welcome.
Put it on the board. Put it on the board. He's going to Miami. and they'll have the cap room to do it, too. It's like the perfect. Wow. All right. Josh, you think he goes anywhere, or what do you feel about this whole situation?
Oh, we all know he's going somewhere. They're not going to deal with the child.
They have a history of it, though, in Pittsburgh of dealing with children, so.
I mean, they do, but, they're not going to put up with – I mean, it's not like they want to have a bunch of kids. They just want to have one or two. So
they don't want to have the Partridge family. They
exactly. Just they're not moving on up. So, I mean, they're not like the Jeffersons. So, but I mean, he's going to go definitely, like you guys said, he's going to go to a Miami or something like that. That some team that needs that running back who doesn't mind dealing with that.
Dude, I guarantee you someone is going to watch this show or watching it now or tomorrow on the replay, and they're already going to go on the NFL shop and get themselves a Le'Veon Bell Miami Dolphins jersey. Yeah.
Hashtag Bell to the beach.
Let's do it. Let's start that tomorrow. I say we do it.
I'm going to do it tonight.
Let's see if we can get it going.
I'm going to get it going right now.
Bell to the beach, baby.
And then someone has to make that thing where it looks like he's riding the dolphin.
Oh, riding a dolphin in the ocean. Oh, I can Photoshop that.
You can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Bell to the beach. Hashtag Bell to the beach, baby. Baseball trade rumors. I know you guys have been reading a lot about it. All-Star game tomorrow. Pretty excited about it. Like the home run derby. Like I said, it started off a little slow, but then I kind of caught on. And what a great ending. Like I said, of course, you guys probably agree. It's awesome with Bryce Harper and his dad winning at home and just having the whole bat flipping moment. I thought the streamers coming from the sky were a bit much. I mean, he won the home run derby, not the World Cup. But, it was a nice moment. So, but the trade rumors are heating up. I saw a picture today on Instagram of all the Yankees All-Stars hanging out with Manny Machado, posted on, I think it was Aroldis Chapman's Instagram. And kind of got me talking. I know people are saying, the Yankees do have the players, really, in their farm system to trade for him. They could give up a lot to do it, too. And we all know Baltimore needs those players because they're barely winning games as it is. And, they're really going to go into rebuilding mode. So we'll start. I'm just going to name some players that I have on my list. I know you guys may have some, too, that you think will go. Big profile names. I think it's going to be a big trade year. Manny Machado, does he go? And does he go to the Yankees? I say yes, he does. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I got Manny leaving. I think reports today came that, before the end of the whole festivities, so probably by the end of the week. I'm hearing a lot of talk with the Phillies. I think their new GM has been talking a big game this season. He's been real aggressive. The Phillies are doing a lot better than people expected. So I think they're going to be buyers, and I wouldn't be surprised because someone like Manny, he's up for his contract at the end of the year, so it's almost a rental. So if you're going to dish out those prospects and give up some of your farm for him, you have to be in that mindset that you're going to sign him long term. And the Phillies have the cap, and I think I'm going to lean with them and say the Phillies are going to have a good shot at Manny and make a deal done at the end.
Again, AL only fantasy league players do not listen to Anthony Zaragoza because you just lost your first rounder.
That's nuts, man. That is crazy. Can you imagine that? Especially if you're competing and you're tearing it up or whatever, and the next thing you know, you got your big dog.
It hurts.
Is gone.
It hurts. It hurts. That's why I don't do it. Like right now, if I was an AL, NL only league fantasy player, I'd be holding my breath. It's crazy. Josh, do you think Yankees or do you think he goes over to the Phillies?
I think more of the Phillies than the Yankees. I just they have the exact same amount of prospects, like you're saying.
They do.
I don't see the Baltimore Orioles going, yeah, we want to play against him all the time.
Well, it'll only be for this year because then he becomes a free agent. So, yeah, I think the Baltimore Orioles, are pretty much checked out of the season already. They're probably the first team to be checked out of the season. So I don't think they mind playing against them, to be honest. But, yeah, I have Yankees, and then Phillies would be second. I think it'd be a surprise if you went anywhere else. I do have the Phillies actually losing out on a lot of these players, but there is one I'll talk about later that I think is going to be very, very interesting, who I think they do get by the trade deadline. So there you go. Two of us say Yankees, one says Phillies. We're moving on to Mr. Jake DeGrom from the Mets. A lot of rumors surrounding the Mets, what they're going to do. Another injury season with all these players. It's about time they start getting rid of them because they're not going to stay healthy, and they can't continue to spend money on these players that just keep on getting hurt. DeGrom is not one of them, but he happens to be their best player this season. He had a Cy Young caliber first half of the season, to be honest, if it wasn't for Max Scherzer. And I think some good places for him where he ends up. And I have two teams that I kind of split 50-50. One of them is not a surprise, the Dodgers. That's obviously a good place for him to go. But another one I think could be a dark horse in this race for DeGrom is the Diamondbacks. They could use another anchor ace, with Greinke. They have Corbin, and they have those other pitchers that haven't pitching well. They lost Walker earlier. And I think in addition, kind of a slap in the face to the Dodgers there, I think they go strong for him, and he could end up being on the Diamondbacks. I think he stays in the National League either in the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks. Do you guys think DeGrom goes like I do, or do you think he stays, or where do you think he goes?
I'm gonna say he probably is dealt a arm like that's gonna help any of these front runners right now in each of the leagues. I got him going either to the Yankees or the Cubs. Both of them, they do got some frontline starters, but they need some depth. The Yankees are 14th right now in starter ERA. The Cubs are 11th in starter ERA. So they definitely would enjoy a nice boost from DeGrom.
Where does he fit in when Darvish comes back in that Cubs rotation, though? Because then they got a full rotation of high-paid guys there with Quintana.
Well, I think at this point right now, I think the Cubs are looking at, they got this window of youth players, of solid veterans, and knowing how Theo operates, he's going to go all in. DeGrom's probably going to, require some prospects, or some solid starters. The Cubs have that, but having someone like DeGrom in there to help that staff out,
huge
I think is going to be huge.
Yeah.
The thing is with DeGrom this year, in 10 of his 20 starts, he's in his 10 no decisions, he's had a total of 10 runs supported in those 10 starts.
Oh yeah,
so
the Mets are just garbage.
Super unlucky. Oh yeah, and so I think someone like that going to the Cubs would help out. I think the Yankees will probably feel a little better. I think the Yankees aren't going to maybe get some of these big name guys, but someone like DeGrom is probably on their radar.
I don't think Yankees have anything left after they get Machado for DeGrom.
See, but that's the thing. I'm not going with Machado. I think Machado's going to go somewhere where he knows he can sign long term, and the team's not going to give up that many prospects. You're talking about a 26-year-old, 4-time All-Star who
He's a stud.
He's a stud,
Yeah.
and right now the Orioles are going to say, yeah, we're going to trade him, but they need a lot back coming into that system. They're old. Their farm system isn't all that great, so they're going to want a big hole. And I don't know if the Yankees can give them that per se, but the Phillies are pretty stacked, and I think they can give them some players.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I still think the Dodgers are the perfect fit for him, I think the Diamondbacks. They're in this. I think they're going to sneak in and get some high profile player. Remember they did it last year with JD Martinez. I think they do it again. I think they just come out of nowhere and get this guy and try to make a run for it. Jake DeGrom, real quick, Josh, where do you think he goes? Or if he gets traded away?
I think they ask too much for him. He doesn't go anywhere.
Well, stays put. That could very well be. You probably would win in Vegas if that was the case. Next up, we have Mr. Big third baseman himself, Mike the Moose Moustakas. I think this is a no-brainer. If he gets dealt, he's obviously going to the Red Sox. Really, there's some other teams involved, but I think the Red Sox is his destination. And I think this may be the highest odds of actually being completed. Is Mike Moustakas to the Red Sox, just from everything I'm hearing, everything I've read. Obviously, he's not going to stay in Kansas City. The Red Sox definitely need a third baseman. Devers has been hot and cold, and I think Moustakas goes to the Red Sox. Do you guys agree, disagree? Does he stay in poor Kansas City?
No, I think that's probably if he's going to be dealt, it's going to definitely go to the Red Sox. They need help on that corner infielder spot, and that's going to make that lineup just stinking scary. Like, imagine throwing Moose in there with JD and Mookie and the rest of them. That's just
what about
nasty.
Machado, Stanton, and Judge?
You know what? I feel like another bet's coming up right now, Edward.
I'm not saying
every show we bet on something, and I feel like I got to go and try to win one.
I'm saying both those teams. Can those teams play each other in the World Series? I mean, if that happens, that's some nasty. That's some nasty.
No,
lineups
I'm talking
right there.
about Manny being on the Yankees. You're already calling out that trio.
He's
right
already
there.
going, the Yankees. They took the picture on Instagram, so of course he's going, right?
You know, if it's on Instagram, it has to be real.
Exactly. Yes. If it's on Twitter, it's really real. Instagram is kind of real, and Facebook is it real? So
Facebook
that
is just for your parents.
yeah.
It's for your grandparents to see the cute pictures of your dog and your kids.
and also watch this show. So thank you for that. But I don't have it. Hold on. I got it. Oh, I don't. There it is. Yeah. Thanks for talking crap on the platform that runs our show.
Hey, you know, that's the Modelo talking. That's what you get.
No, what?
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Oh my god.
So, all right, moving on. We all agree with Red Sox, Moustakas. Mr. Catcher from the Marlins, JT Realmuto. He has to go, right? I mean, the Marlins are in sell mode. He doesn't want to be there. He's made it clear since the beginning when they traded off all of his friends. You know, when my friends go somewhere, I want to go there too because my friends are going there. If they go to this junior high, I want to go to that junior high too. That's how. I mean, that's how life works, right? When you're kids. But he wants to get out. I think he moves over to the AL. I think there's two teams that really need a catcher that are both in contention. I have him either going to either one of two in the same division. The Astros, after McCann having his surgery, probably out for a long time. Don't know if he's even going to be back for the playoffs. Max Stassi is their catcher. I think adding Realmuto is crazy. Imagine that lineup. And then another one, the Mariners. Remember, they're still in it. They're playing for a wild card. They just lost Zunino again. He seems like he's on the 10-day DL every 10 days. And he hasn't really come to, fruition. He's a home run only hitter. He strikes out a ton. He doesn't walk. And I think adding a 300 hitter in that catcher spot with Cruz and what they have there with Healy and everything and Seager, I think can help them get that boost they need because their pitching's been really good. But I think they need that extra average hitter now that they lost Cano for so many games. Having that batting average guy in that lineup, I think they may make the move for Realmuto. I think he moves. I think he goes to either the Astros or the Mariners. You guys agree, disagree, or does he stay in Miami? And does he board the Le'Veon Bell trade?
You know what? I think this is probably one of those guys where they're probably going to ask way too much from him. They got Realmuto under control till 2020, so they're going to require a big haul. Obviously, the Astros are stacked in their farm system. Yeah. So if there's a team that can do it, it's going to probably be them. But I don't know if they're going to shell out that much for a catcher, which, in this game isn't all that valuable when it comes to, your position players. So I don't know if they're going to go out and give them the farm for Realmuto. So I think he stays put. I think the Marlins are going to be stuck. They've already shipped everybody off, and he's going to be that lonely friend in the playground waiting for someone to play with him.
By himself. Will you come play with me, Lewis Brinson?
He's going to be that kid at the tetherball, just hitting it over and over.
Josh, does Realmuto stay or does he go?
Some of this is going to be me wanting to see it happen. I mean, but I'm going to say either it's going to be the Astros, but the real team I'd love to see as a dark horse to get him would be the Indians.
Ooh,
You know,
yeah, they're also in need of
imagine
a
him
catcher.
and then Yan Gomes in that trade.
Yep. That'd be a good spot for him too, and he would definitely be on a contender there because they pretty much have the division in the hand. I have someone else later going to the Indians though. That's a surprise, so we'll talk about that later. I like that. Next up is Mr. Scooter Gennett. He says he really wants to stay where he's at in Cincinnati, but I think he's probably the biggest trade bait there is, especially at value where he's at in his career and what he's done this season. I think he may get dealt, and I think the perfect destination for him is a team that needs a second baseman, and that's the Dodgers. I mean, that's a perfect place for him to go. It's Utley has already announced he's going to retire at the end of the year. I thought he retired 4 years ago. So they really need that second baseman. I think Scooter Gennett could be that guy that can help them out and really, really one step closer to me in that Ass Clown outfit. So what do you guys feel about Scooter Gennett? Does he go? Does he stay? And where does he go?
Oh, you sold me on that, man. I want to see you in that ass costume. So, Scooter to the Dodgers. No, it fits. They need infield help, especially in the middle infield. A guy like Scooter, comes in there and will definitely help out that lineup, solidify them for a big playoff push.
Yeah.
And, hopefully get him in the playoffs. So, yeah, Scooter going to the Dodgers is a big hit. I think the Dodgers, if they strike out on him, there's some other serviceable second baseman who could be available. But, yeah, a guy like Scooter going to LA would fit perfect and make everybody's dreams come true and seeing you in that costume.
Yeah. Everyone's dreams come true. Sad.
It's like Disneyland.
I can't wait to see what you guys come up with if that happens. It ought to be fun. Josh, do you agree with Scooter Gennett going to the Dodgers or staying, or you think he goes somewhere else?
I think he stays. If the Dodgers are going to make a move, it's going to be for a shortstop and move Taylor over to second.
That's a good call. That could be a good move for them too. But what shortstop would they go for? Manny Machado? Ooh, we will see. Cole Hamels. He's been stuck in Texas now for a while. I think he gets traded. One of the big pitchers that gets traded on trade deadline day. I think he has a better chance of getting traded than DeGrom actually, because his asking price won't be as high, but could be very serviceable. Here's my surprise. I think Cole Hamels goes back home, baby. I think he goes back home.
Wow. He
goes to Philadelphia and helps them make a playoffs this year. Cole Hamels going to a Phillies reunion, perhaps. It's they still love him there.
Chase Utley's going. They said Chase Utley's going back.
Chase Utley's also going to Miami, but not to play baseball. To buy Le'Veon Bell CDs and watch the Dolphins play in his press box. But yeah, Cole Hamels to the Phillies reunion. I think he does get dealt. Probably the highest odds of any pitcher getting dealt is probably him, where he's at in his career, what he's doing this year. He's been really serviceable. I like him going back home to Philadelphia. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's probably a nice little fit. The only thing that worries me about Hamels is his price isn't going to be big, but he has a 20-year option next season. So whichever team that picks him up is going to have to know they're going to have to probably pay $20 million next year for him unless they deal him. So that's a little concerning, especially for some of these contenders and some of these teams watching the salary cap. So I like Cole. Like you said, he's been serviceable. I think he's been below 4.3 all season. But I don't know. That's a big price tag, and unless you're one of these bigger market teams that can handle that $20 million next year option, well then, like you said, the Phillies probably will definitely do that. They have a lot of cap left, but he's probably a guy that probably sticks around just because of that amount of money. It's a little too much.
Okay, Josh, what do you think?
I'm going with the Yankees. I think Cole Hamels goes to the Yankees. It's I know they were really interested in him in the beginning of the year, and I think they revisit it right now.
Yeah, Sonny Gray really hasn't lived up to expectations this year, that's for sure. I have him in a couple of my teams, and Jesus. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. It makes me sad. I wish I was on an AL-only team with him on my team, and Sonny Gray would get traded to the NL. But yeah, that could be a good spot. Yeah. That could be a good spot for him, too. That would be my second place, actually. I have him going besides Philly. I just think Philly could be that perfect fit for him. Especially a place he's already pitched before. He's comfortable. It's just
you got Arrieta.
Yeah, and Aaron Nola. I mean, and they're in first right now. Imagine those three pitchers coming at you. That's a pretty solid lineup for the playoffs, if you ask me, pitching-wise, and with that young team. Man, the addition of Carlos Santana has really been something else there. Really something else. That guy's a winner everywhere he goes. Well, the two teams he's been on, but still, he's just something about him just works, which is surprising. Last on my list I have is Carlos Gonzalez, Cargo. And even though the Rockies are in it, kind of, or they are, I still think they get rid of him. They don't really need him. And they can get something in return for him. And I think he gets dealt. Okay, this is my surprise trade of the trade deadline. It's Carlos Gonzalez. And I think he goes to the Indians, who need a little outfield help. And I think Carlos Gonzalez can and also play DH. I think he needs to go somewhere where he can play DH. And, with Encarnacion, needing some time off here to there, very streaky hitter himself, I think, you could rest him, put Cargo in the DH spot, play him in the outfield, and I think that is a good spot for Cargo to go, is the Indians. Do you guys think he stays in that whatever they have they're going on the outfield in Colorado, and they seem to not care for him much anymore, or do you think he goes somewhere surprisingly during the trade deadline?
No, I think that the spot you gave him with the Indians is perfect. They need not a tremendous amount of help in the outfield, but adding another bat like Cargo. And like you said, that DH aspect is huge.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't need them in there every day for you, you can go in and DH for you. And having that kind of bat late in the season helps out. Michael Brantley's been tearing it up with them this season. So bringing up Cargo in that mix, I think definitely help him out. Plus, it's not going to cost them much. So I think that's huge in that part. So, yeah, I love them going to the Indians for sure.
Yay, I got one win. Woo! Josh, you agree, or you think he stays?
He's not going to stay. Like you said, they're not interested in him anymore. So they're going to deal him. It doesn't matter. They'll even deal him to the Blue Jays if they need to. But I think no matter what, he's going to be dealt. Can
you imagine that Curtis Granderson, Carlos Gonzalez outfield there? Ooh.
It sounds like a great 2018.
Doesn't it? All the stolen bases in 30-30 seasons, though. Jeez. So, yeah, Carlos Gonzalez. And that's pretty much my list of the high-profile players. Do you guys have any? You want to ask me if I think some players you guys have are going to get traded where I think they're going to go? Let's you guys ask me questions for once. Yeah, let's try that out.
Ooh, here we go. One name that I've kind of seen the last week or so kind of fitting that Cole Hamels build is Matt Harvey. He's actually been pitching pretty well this year. 3.64 ERA. He's only signed a one-year deal with the Reds, so it's not going to cost a lot of teams much. So I'm wondering, where do you think, Edward, he goes?
You think he does a double trade in one season?
No.
A double trade? Like, wow. How the mighty has fallen for a double trade in one season. But you know what? That could very well happen. Because he was traded, right? He was traded early this season, yeah.
No, I don't know. I think they just recalled him. And
then they dropped him and they picked him up. That's right. Sorry. So he wasn't traded. He was dropped and picked up. But you think he plays for three teams in one? The mighty Matt Harvey could play for three teams in one season? I like it. He could very well get dealt because he's been pitching pretty good in Cincinnati, and Josh mentioned Cole Hamels going to the Yankees, but I think the Yankees can get him cheap now that I think about it, and the Dark Knight may be going home to Gotham in New York.
Wow, he's going on the other side?
Other side, baby. What a good spot for him. If you think about it, it's a really good spot for him.
Oh, no, yeah, and I think with the Yankees right now, with the amount of money they're going to be putting in some of these young guys and what they have currently, someone like Matt Harvey coming in that starting rotation, I think it's pretty nice. You're going to get yourself a really good pitcher. Matt Harvey can do it, and putting someone right there, New York, against Josh's Red Sox, I like that.
The Dark Knight going home to the actual dark side.
So I got three players for you guys. Let's see what you guys think of these. Okay.
All right, go.
First is Brian Dozier.
Ooh, Brian Dozier. I think he stays. I know there's a lot of talk about him maybe going to the Dodgers or other places, but I just think, he's Minnesota is still that team where every year when the season starts with the nucleus that they have, everyone's like, oh, they can do it this year. And I still think they're still young and they still believe in them a little bit. I think they're going to dangle them out there, these players for Minnesota, but I just don't think they actually go. I think he stays. What do you think, Anthony?
I think, like you said, the Dodgers is probably a good fit. Who knows what the price is for Scooter? He's young, so he's probably going to require some prospects. The Dodgers have some in their farm system, but someone like Brian Dozier, a veteran going into that lineup, I think would probably help them as far as a leader in that clubhouse. So I like that more. You're going to see obviously the Manny Machados go to these spots, but you're going to have a lot of these veterans make some impacts on some of these teams, and you're going to see the Yankees, the Red Sox, some of these teams that
do you
contending.
Consider Brian Dozier a veteran, though?
I'm going to say Brian Dozier is probably 29, 30.
He's 31.
Bam.
31.
That's not a veteran in baseball.
It's not, dude. Veteran in baseball nowadays like 35. He's still in his prime right now. I think Minnesota thinks with a nucleus, a couple more additions in the next couple years, they could be a contender. I don't see him getting rid of him unless the price is astronomical. I think they have the right to dangle him out there, but he's right now, he's their best. He's their cornerstone besides Barrios. So I don't see it. I just think they're dangling. All right, Josh, who are the other two?
Cornerstone? You said cornerstone?
Yeah, he's their best player right now besides Barrios. He's who else? Joe Mauer. Talk about veterans.
In the outfield. Think about somebody in the outfield.
Buxton. It's not Sano because he's drowning in AAA right now.
It's true.
Who am I missing? Buxton, is that your cornerstone? Byron Buxton, Mr. Migraine himself. Come on.
Someone named Eddie Rosario who was snuffed on the All-Star team.
Oh, okay. You're telling me he's more well known than Brian Dozier in Minnesota. If I went to 10 Minnesota Twins fans and said, "Who's your favorite player?" I guarantee you 8 of them would say Brian Dozier.
You'd have to probably put in the accent though.
And now, is that good? And now, who's your
favorite
favorite Minnesota Twins player? Eh? Oh, it's Brian Dozier. Huh?
My next guy is Ian Kinsler.
Ian Kinsler. He stays.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be much market for Ian Kinsler. I think he's going to stay.
That's not your Anaheim Angels accent, is it? Your LA?
I was trying to do what you guys are doing. Come on, okay?
I think he stays. Yeah, he's staying in Anaheim, even though they kind of dropped out of contention a little bit. The Ohtani injury kind of hurt him. Pujols is now hurt. Yeah, I just think he stays. There's not going to be enough for him there.
Zach Britton.
Ooh, I like that one too. I think he goes. I think we haven't talked about relief pitchers because a ton of relief pitchers go all over the place on trade deadline. I think Britton goes. I mean, they haven't even given him save chances. Not that they've had very many in Baltimore, but yeah, I think he goes. But I don't think he becomes a closer. I think he becomes more of a setup man. He really only had that one good year, which was an excellent year, one of the best years from a closer in recent times, not named Mariano Rivera. But after he's been hurt, he's only like a 1-year wonder. I think he goes into that like Kelvin Herrera getting traded and going into like a relief pitcher role somewhere. Maybe the Indians, or if he goes to the NL, I can see him going to the Dodgers, or maybe the Diamondbacks. They could use some help in the bullpen.
If he was going to go to the NL, I would say he's going to go to the Diamondbacks.
That's a good spot for him. Yeah.
It is. But I know that the Red Sox were pushing for him for a little bit.
Jeez.
Just so because they need a really good setup man, because they can't rely on Joe Kelly, so they really need somebody. It's to be honest. So
Joe Kelly can't rely on Joe Kelly,
right? When Red Sox fans are hoping for him to get into the next fight, it's not really good.
I rely on Joe Kelly as much as Le'Veon Bell relies on his alarm to wake him up for a drug test. There you have it, right here, Monday Night Rants. So yeah, I'm with you there. So I think he goes too. Anthony, you think Britton goes?
I think he goes definitely. But I think someone like the Astros, they've kind of struggled in their bullpen this year. Everything else has been.
They just sent Giles down too, which is in a surprising move.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of shown that they're great everywhere else. Starting pitching obviously is phenomenal. Their lineup's phenomenal. But yeah, getting some help on the bullpen. So yeah, they'll definitely be in the mix for someone like Zach Britton, or I've heard some guy named Brad Hand for some AAA team baseball is going to be probably up there.
Brad. I don't think Brad Hand goes, to be honest. I think Kirby Yates is the man you want from that Padres team. I think Brad Hand stays. I think Kirby Yates goes. He's been solid this year. He's actually gotten some save chances in relief of Brad Hand, and I don't think Brad Hand goes anywhere.
And what about here's one last one just throw it out there is Josh Donaldson.
The only place I think Josh Donaldson goes this year is the DL again, to be honest.
Well, the reason why I'm wondering this is because he's supposed to be owed $20 million in arbitration this upcoming year. If that ends up being the case. So man, do you trade him away before he hits that?
I just don't think he's going to get anything the Blue Jays will get anything in return right now for him.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's willingness of Toronto wanting to trade for him. It's somebody accepting the trade.
Exactly.
You're talking. That's a big price tag for someone who's, getting close to 33, 34, and once those injuries start piling up later in your career, it's hard to slow it down. Yeah.
He has a hard swing, and his body moves a lot too when he swings the baseball. He has one of the highest leg kicks ever, and that, when you start getting injuries, it's hard to keep up with a swing that aggressive.
Oh, yeah, and it hurts me to say that because I still have a Josh Donaldson bobblehead at work, so it hurts.
Well, does that remind you of the good times or something, or what does that do?
It's just an example. That's why it's hard for me to get bobbleheads for A's players, because in 2 years they're going to be wearing a different jersey. So
well, welcome to my life as a Padres fan, where we trade for people during the trade deadline just to trade them. We're like, the Padres are like Pog collectors in the 90s.
Well, Pog collectors? Oh my, you did not reference Pogs.
I did.
I
did.
And let's also say the only two players the Padres decided not to trade away are now in the Hall of Fame.
That is very true. And neither one of them won a World Series. So that's true. There you go. They both went to one.
Yeah.
They got to hang out, celebrate. They're like Croatia. Hey, we made it. Yay.
We got medals.
Do they really have to give poor guys just lost the biggest game of their career, and they're going to make them stand on the field in the rain just to get silver medals in front of everybody? Shut up.
Participation coin.
Stop it with that. A third-place game. Do we really need a third-place game in the World Cup? Stop it with that. Do they need bronze medals? No. You lost. We don't want to see you on the field. Go in your locker room. Let France come out and get their gold, and let's go home.
Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible. And how long did it take, by the way? It took an hour for them to get everything going and just hit. Anyways. All right, guys. Real quick, I have a question for you guys. You probably know what I'm going to ask you.
I love fantasy.
Do you like fantasy football?
Oh, I love it.
Me too. It's actually my favorite sport. Not football, but fantasy football is my favorite sport. You know why? Because I dominate. And I like winning.
Yeah.
And not for the money. I'm not Le'Veon Bell. I just like winning. So, I play fantasy sports, but to play fantasy football, I got to draft. I got to get my team. And to do it, I got to draft the number one draft guide in all of the world. The Fantasy Alarm Fantasy Football Draft Guide. That's right. 2018 is here. I just did a player profile myself on Melvin Gordon, and I must say, it is spectacular. It is. And I want to tell you why Melvin Gordon could or couldn't be the best player on your team. You have to watch. And to do that, you got to go to fansyalarm.com/draft now. And guess what? I'm going to give you 50% off instantly. Boom. And even better, there's a deal going on right now for All-Star Week where if you go for $100, you get the draft guide, the cheat sheet in best ball and PPR leagues. And you get the full season of DFS coverage weekly, so win money, and seasonal coverage for the whole year, and league sync, and rankings and everything all week. It's like a $200 value. You get it for $100, and boom, you dominate. You'll make that back the first week you play DFS, because our optimal lineups are on point. So there you go. Go to fantasyalarm.com/draft now. You got the 50% off deal. You got the $100 deal right there. You can choose which one you want, and you can start winning your fantasy football leagues and make the people that you play, what is it? Your bitch. That's right. fantasyalarm.com/draft now. 50% off instantly. Boom. Man, the song.
You better get that trademark.
Dude, that shit, huh? This little harmonica just, woo! I gotta learn how to play harmonica. Let's do a show one night where I just play harmonica for an hour. Who cares?
This has to be the first. This has to be the first show where I've heard harmonica and pogs in the same.
Can I get the cowbell in the background?
Oh, yes. We gotta get some cowbell, too. How perfect would that be? All right, guys. We've been waiting for 2 weeks for this. Are you guys ready?
Oh, I'm ready to dominate.
Oh, it is time for Fantasy Sports Jeopardy All-Star Edition. Yeah, that's right. Today's contestants in the blue corner, A to Z, Mr. Anthony Zaragoza, and in the red corner, standing on top of his hill, Josh Danhill. All right, here are the rules. I'm going to give you guys buzzers. You're each going to choose each other's, and here's how we do it. Josh, the category is pop stars. So you have to give Anthony a pop star's name where he has to buzz, and Anthony, you got to give Josh a pop star name where he has to buzz in order to answer the question. Josh, whose pop star is Anthony going to be?
He's going to be Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. So every time you answer you got to buzz in by saying Britney Spears. Anthony, who is Josh going to be?
I couldn't believe it. That was actually the one I was going to give him.
Oh, of course.
Unreal.
Of course.
Okay, well, if you're going to give me Britney Spears, I'm going to give you Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears. We are really in the 90s and 2000s now with Pogs, harmonicas, and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. All right, so Anthony, when you buzz in and you know the question, you got to say Britney Spears. Josh, when you buzz in, you have to say Christina Aguilera. But you had me at Christina. All right, here are the categories for tonight. It is the All-Star edition, since it is All-Star Week. So we got 4 categories. The first one is All-Time All-Stars. The second category is MLB All-Star MVPs. The third category is Not So All-Stars. And the fourth category is the Fantasy Baseball Midseason Leaders in 2018. Who won last time, guys?
I did for sure.
All right, then Josh, you have the board first. Each is just 100, 200, 300, 400. Remember, points don't matter. So it doesn't really matter. So which category would you like, Josh?
Let's do MLB All-Star MVPs for 400.
For 400, the hard one. Okay. I am the only player to win the MVP for the All-Star game while being on the losing side. Nobody knows?
Christina Aguilera?
Christina Aguilera.
I'm going to go with Randy Johnson.
That is incorrect. Anthony, you want to take a guess?
Oh, Britney Spears says Derek Jeter.
You are also very wrong. The only person to ever win was Mr. Brooks Robinson, the human vacuum cleaner from 1966 with the Baltimore Orioles.
Come on, we're going to the 60s now?
Dude, but he did pick the hard question in the category. That was the 400 question. So, just throwing it out there. He did pick the hard one.
Good job, Christina.
All right, Josh, you still hold the board.
I'm going to go with mid-season 2018 for 100.
100. Currently at mid-season, I am the number 1 starting pitcher, head-to-head category-wise, in fantasy baseball.
Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
I'm going to go with Jacob deGrom.
Negative. The number 1 pitcher, ranked twice.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
I'm going to go with my boy Max Scherzer.
My name is Chris Sale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you guys are over 2, and that was the easy one. So this is only going to get harder from here.
Well,
all right, Josh.
I'm glad I wasn't a Red Sox fan on that
I guess
one.
so. Josh, you still have the board.
200.
I am not the top outfielder ranked so far in fantasy. I also hold the number 1 overall 1 rank.
Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
Mookie Betts.
You are correct, sir. Mookie Betts is the answer. Just edging out J.D. Martinez for that. You still have the board. Anthony is losing. 300? 35 saves and counting. I'm currently the number one closer in fantasy baseball.
Christina Aguilera.
Yes, sir.
I am going to go with Craig Kimbrell.
That is wrong. You have a guess there, Brittany?
I should just. Nah, I don't know. Nothing.
Man, the answer is Edwin Diaz.
He's home for Seattle.
Yes. Josh, you still have the board.
Let's finish it up.
I am the top-ranked catcher in head-to-head categories.
Oh, Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
I'm going to go with JT Rillamu.
You are correct. You guys would be surprised to know that number 2 is actually Yasmani Grandal, surprisingly.
Really?
Yes. So there you go. That category is swamped. Brittany, you have the board.
It's Brittany B. Hey, let me go with MVP All-Star Game for 100.
MVP MLB All-Stars for 100? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I am
sir.
the first and only player to win back-to-back MVP awards in the All-Star Game. My God.
Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
Derek Jeter.
Brittany?
Oh,
Britney Spears.
Yes, sir.
King Griffey.
The answer is Mike Trout in 2015 and 2014. Come on, Josh, we held his
I know, I
bat.
just thought about it after I said it.
Oh, we held his crystal bat.
And we did. And we saw the
What?
Corvette.
And we saw the Corvette that he gave his mom because we went to the Angels game. Yeah, we held his bat. All right, Anthony, you still have the board, bud.
Let's go the same one for 200.
After 13 straight years, I finally helped the NL come on top in 2010 and winning the MVP award. Nobody. Sad. The answer is Brian McCann for Atlanta.
Wow.
Here you go. Still got the board. It only gets harder from here.
For 300. I wanted to say something so bad.
By the way, there is no 400, so this is the the last one. I was the last MVP to win the award in my home park. Josh, you got to get this one. That's a hint.
Oh, Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
I'm going to guess it's the Red Sox. I'm going to say David Ortiz.
You were right on the Red Sox, wrong on the David Ortiz.
I will Christina Aguilera, and I will say it is Dustin Pedroia.
Oh, I was really rooting for you there. But no, the answer is Pedro Martinez. 1999, the last time that the All-Star game was in Fenway Park.
I know. I just gave David Ortiz and he just retired. Jeez Louise. Oh, my gosh.
Man.
This is horrible.
This is All-Star Edition, so there you go. We got 2 categories left. Not so All-Stars, which is hard, by the way. And the other one is All-Time All-Stars.
Not so All-Stars for 100.
I hold the record for most errors in a single All-Star game.
What are you Googling?
I watched this game live. I watched every All-Star game. I saw this one live, and it was pretty embarrassing.
Jeez Louise. People watching this show are probably just thinking, what's wrong with these
Oh,
guys?
I guarantee you half of them are screaming it out loud right now. Because it was embarrassing. He's a second baseman and went through his legs 3 times. In an All-Star game, you only play like 2 innings. Oh, this game went to extra innings.
So he was a second baseman?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm just gonna say I think Josh is looking it up. That's baloney.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it away. The answer is Dan Ugla. He had 3 errors in an All-Star game.
Oh, Jesus.
Himself. All right, you still have the board. Not looking good, you guys. You guys both have negative points, so this is not looking good.
Just 200. Just keep it going.
Okay. I hold the record for most turnovers in NBA All-Star game history. That means all the games of all the All-Star games combined that this person has been in. So it's probably someone who's been in a lot of All-Star games.
I'll say Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
And I'm going to say Shaquille O'Neal.
Right team, wrong person. That is a negative.
Britney Spears.
Yes, sir.
Britney Spears.
Oh,
I'm going to say Kobe.
The answer is Magic Johnson. In his All-Star career, of all the games he played, he turned the ball over 48 times. Jesus. It's terrible. All right. What do you got next?
300? Jeez.
I own the record for swinging and missing the most strikeouts in my All-Star game career. So an offensive player who had the most strikeouts of all the All-Star games they've been in. Think long time ago, big name player, not alive anymore, but been in a lot of All-Star games.
A long time ago, been in a lot of All-Star games, dead. Thank you. Wow, that's a really good hint.
Okay, here you go. He was on the Yankees.
And I'm going to say Joe DiMaggio.
You gotta buzz in.
Say Christina Aguilera.
Oh, Christina Aguilera, yes.
Joe DiMaggio.
There's only so many left.
Britney Spears.
Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna totally guess. Babe Ruth.
That is Mickey Mantle, who struck out 17 times in an All-Star game. 17.
Just 400. We're gonna get it wrong.
There's no way you guys get this one, but I thought it was kind of
At least I was
fun.
on the same era.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now you want to participate in the trophy? Congratulations.
Yeah, you want that Croatia medal.
Right?
For 400, I hold the record for most interceptions thrown in a Pro Bowl game. With 5.
In one Pro Bowl?
One Pro Bowl game. And this happened in 1977. So you guys want another hint.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Terry Bradshaw.
That is
Christina Aguilera, say Dan Marino.
Jim Hart with the St. Louis Rams.
Dan Marino.
Hey, you never know.
He got drafted like in '82.
But Magic Johnson and Mickey Mantle can have terrible All-Star, then Dan Marino can have a terrible Pro Bowl. We have one category left. It's the all-time All-Stars, and what this is for each sport, the player who's been in the most All-Star games for that sport. Okay, so
All right.
Here we go.
Magic Johnson.
No, he is not. He's already been
Kidding.
up. You just want to go 100 through 400 and this brutal. You guys are getting just stabbed slowly, right? Okay, here we go.
Got one right in like half an hour, so
That's true.
Just go from 100 to 400.
Okay, here we go. I have the record for being involved in the most NBA All-Star games with 19.
Christina Aguilera.
Yes.
Larry Bird.
No, think 3 names.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Britney Spears.
There you go. All right, I had to give it to you, but you got it. And you said the name before that you said Britney Spears, so really, no points for you.
It doesn't even matter at this point. Whatever.
Okay.
Just take my 100.
All right. You guys got to listen to what I say to get these right, because the answers are in it. I was the sheriff of a league record 14 Pro Bowls during my career.
Britney Spears.
Yes, sir.
Peyton Manning.
You are right. Peyton Manning's nickname was the Sheriff. Like
Sheriff.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's nickname was A, like I said in the question. So then you guys are kind of catching on with this one. Okay, 300. I was hammering for 21 straight seasons in the MLB All-Star Game from 1955 to 1975.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Hank Aaron.
That is correct. Now you got it. Now you're on a roll. There you go.
Man.
You got a roll going on.
Come on, man.
You're like
This
Bryce
is too
Harper.
easy.
Yeah, you're going.
This is too easy, man. Who am I playing against somebody? Is there somebody on the other line?
All right. Yeah, but you didn't know Mookie Betts, so. All right, here we go. After 23 All-Star Game appearances for the NHL, they should have changed my nickname to Mr. All-Star instead of Mr.
Christina
Hockey.
Aguilera.
Yes, sir.
Wayne Gretzky?
No. Nickname Mr. Hockey. He just died a few years ago.
Wow. Britney Spears.
Yes. I'm just going to put my hand over the wrong answer button.
Hall.
I don't even know if you were saying Hull or Hall, but both are wrong. The answer is Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe. Hall. Jeez.
Mr. Hockey himself. That means it is time for Final Jeopardy. The category for tonight is Fantasy Baseball. Okay, in honor of the All-Star Game, we're going to take you back to 2008, 10 years ago for this one. The question is, I was the 2008 most valuable SP starting pitcher by year's end with a career-high 206 Ks, all capped off with the AL Cy Young. Just edging out, this is the Final Jeopardy, just edging out CC Sabathia and Cliff Lee. Think about it. The 2008 most valuable SP by year's end with a career-high 206 Ks, all capped off with the AL Cy Young, just edging out CC Sabathia and Cliff Lee. Josh, you seem to know the answer. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong until Anthony gives his. What's your answer?
Don't be scared. Go, Josh.
I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong until Anthony gets his, so I'm not going to give it away.
I'm going with Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling. Anthony?
I'm gonna go with. Oh, that's not a lot. 206. Randy Johnson.
Okay. How much did you wager, Josh, just for fun?
To get 100 over Anthony.
Okay, perfect.
And I
Good answer.
I wagered my negative 3,600 points.
Okay, well that means Josh is the winner because you both got it wrong and you wagered all your negative points. The answer is Roy Halladay. Well, thank you for playing Fantasy Sports Jeopardy All-Star Edition. Once again, a terrible, terrible showing. But it's okay, because I'm only going to make the questions harder for next time.
I can't wait.
This is embarrassing.
It's kind of because, like, we talk about, like, I give you guys, tell you what we're going to talk about, but I don't really give you anything about the Fantasy Sports Jeopardy, so you guys really can't prepare, which makes it more fun. But yeah, I'm sure it's fun for the listeners, though. And just to know that they got it right over you guys must just make them feel so much better about themselves, I guess, when they wake up in the morning. So, you know, just about as good as Le'Veon Bell feels when he wakes up in the morning. So,
man, here we go. Le'Veon Bell show.
Bruh.
Burn. That's right. So, with that being said, guys, it is time to call it a night. Once again, we went way over time. But then the Fantasy Sports Jeopardy went a little long because when you don't know the answer, it lags a little bit. So it's not my fault.
And when you have to say Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears, it takes a little bit.
Yeah, but you have me at Britney. Once you say Britney, I'm already going. So there you go. Hey, you guys could have called him Dido, right? That would have saved a lot of time. Just say you're Dido, pop star, and your share. Boom.
Or he could be Creed.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I didn't say terrible Christian rock bands. That's next week.
Right. Yeah, the show's ended now.
You ended with Creed. That's it. All right, guys. Well, hey, everyone. Thanks for watching another Monday night. Next week, we're going to start doing football. We're going to actually help you win in your fantasy leagues. We're only going to be talking about football now, pretty much going here on out. We're going to be doing mock drafts. We're going to talk about best ball. We're going to give you plays for DFS as we get closer. We're going to help you with your drafts. Of course, we're going to have our draft live August 17th, that Friday. That is the Monday Night Rants League. Still need like 2 more people. So, message us, guys. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. You know what? Anything can happen. I can draft Le'Veon Bell, and he can miss 8 weeks because he doesn't want to play for the Steelers anymore. So you guys, everyone has a chance to win. Join the league. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. The live draft's going to be fun. I want to see how many Modelo's Anthony drinks and if he actually drafts the same player twice, because I think there's a good chance of that. So it's going to be real fun. So check that out as well. Football next week. We're going to have strategies on your drafts, and we're also going to be talking about who we think are going to be our MVPs, our predictions, as you would, going into the league this year. So thank you guys for watching. Anthony, what do you got? You got anything good to say, or are you just going to say something negative?
I'm going to say something negative for sure. Just make sure everybody draft J.I. above Sony Michelle. That's the pick of the year.
All right. Josh, what you got?
Oh, I'm just going to say, let's just keep it going with that fantasy alarm, and let's everybody get on there before you ever draft anything.
All right.
And the Oscar goes to... All
right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us, or joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We'll do it again next week. And more to come. We're going to also have, more people from Fantasy Alarm will be coming on the show as well, coming in the future, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this show. Keep on going, but try to be more entertaining and less just like blah, 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 like half the crap I listen to from day to day. So thank you for watching Monday Night Rants. Until next Monday, have a good week. Enjoy the All-Star break. And always remember to spay and neuter your pets. Boom!